So this is going to be a bit of a guide to time trialling in the UK, the majority of which takes place under CTT, which is Cycling Time Trials, and that's what I'm going to be going over today and how to navigate this new website, and then also Spindata and usefully the legacy Cycling Time Trials website, as all of these are useful resources for looking up courses, finding certain events. So yeah, for 2025, CTT's updated their website, brand new UI. It's a very much more modern website that's easier to navigate. They've simplified it a lot, but the functionality of the things that are there are very good, and it's been a welcome improvement for sure. I'm sure most people are on board with this change. But yeah, they haven't ported everything from the old website, but the things that they have got in there at the moment work really well. So I'm assuming features will be updated over time, but the main features are there, and yeah, can't ask for much more than that. Extremely useful website that goes alongside CTT is a site called Spindata. It also is a repository for past performances, and is extremely useful for looking at course rankings, your own performance, and comparisons. Really, this is extremely useful website, which is a masterclass in statistical analysis, really. But then finally, there's also the Legacy Cycling Time Trials website, which has stayed live, which is useful because, like I say, they haven't ported all the features from the initial old website to the new one. So if there's certain features that useful to go back to on that old website, you can still do that, as they're keeping that online, which is really good. So for example, they haven't ported all results from, I think they've ported results from like the past 3 or 4 years. So if you want to go back to your profile and look at results from before that, you can do that on the legacy CTT page. But interestingly, looking back at certain people's profiles, it looks like kind of from 2012 onwards, there's like a partial data set. So the way they've recorded performances, you can go back and claim a result to link it to your profile, but that's a manual process that didn't automatically back up, and it only looked like we've got a full data set from 2017 onwards, which is when Spindata came into function. So that's quite interesting that obviously time trialing has been taking place for years and decades in the UK. There's not that full data set there. There might be the data might be somewhere, but it's probably like paper records from from before that. So, but yeah, from 2017 onwards, we've got a fantastic data set, which is all located within Spindata, and you can access the results on Legacy Cycling Time Trials or even the new Cycling Time Trials website. So this is a new website, nice and clean, and like I said, there's not a huge amount of features, but they've ported some just general information if you're looking for the about section. Some things they've ported I'm not too keen on, like the way they've ported the record books. To look through those, it's like no one's ever going to do that. There's definitely some work to be done there. Have it linkable as a PDF. I think that's the best thing. So it's under records here. They've got this. It's essentially just a PDF, but you have to scroll through it on the website. Can I save it? I guess I could save it as a PDF. No, it's a website. Save as the website. If you could save this as a PDF, then it's fair enough. But just flicking through it, like I can't even on my big screen. It's like hard to even read those things. And if I was on like a mobile, no harm in the way it's been published. But yeah. Not too concerned about that. More concerned about the really useful features. So the main thing is this new Events Finder app that they've introduced, and yeah, it's fantastic, really. So for example, if you're looking for just a local time trial, you don't want to go stray away too far, just keeping closer to home, you can put in your location here, and then it gives you this filter of how far you want to go for looking for your different time trials. They'll pop up in a list, and for me, there's not. It might be different depending on where you live, but for me, there's not a ridiculous amount of time trials around, so I've just selected for a medium time trial, so 25 plus mile time trial. It's coming up with these suggestions, and there's not a ridiculous amount, so I can just sift through these and look at the dates of them and go, okay, yeah, that's a good event for me. If you are you're not too concerned about, so for me, I'm like, there's not a huge amount of time trials super close to me, so I'm not too concerned, and because I'm in the centre of the country, I'm not too concerned about going an hour north, an hour south, 2 hours north, 2 hours south to find a race. So it might be the case that you just want to do fast courses. So dual carriageway courses are typically the fastest courses. So if I go select 10 and 25 mile time trials, there's also you can also select for dual carriageway. Then it's going to pop up with these 10 and 25 mile dual carriageway courses. So the EC210, that's a known fast course, and you can sift through these. Look for a fast 25 miler that you're looking for. It's like if you're in the north, you go to Levens. Okay, for me, this is a really quite local one. It's about an hour and change away from me, and it's a nice dual carriageway course. This is a course I did last year, so find that under the dual carriageway courses. And then the opposite, if you don't want to do dual carriageway courses but you're still keen to do a 25 miler, then you can select single carriageway, closed circuit sort of thing. I don't think there's a 25 mile closed circuit course in the event in the country, to be honest. But yeah, there's some nice filters here you can use to try and find events. But equally, if you know that there's an event going on and searching for it like that is just going to be a bit of a pain, so you can just go keywords. So I know Cambridge CC organise a few events in the year, so if I just search Cambridge, it pops up with a few. It's not going to pop up with everything, but you can search. So I could go to Cambridge CC, they've got this 15 mile event going on, but then I could also go into Cambridge CC and this is all the events they're organising during the year. That can also lend you to a specific course. So this is a dual carriageway 25 mile course that I know is quite fast. Well, F2 25A was a course I did last year that was good. The 25B is slightly different because I think some roadworks are starting to happen at some point during the year, but that's beside the point. But let's say I know that I want to do multiple runs on this course here. You can also search for specific courses. So for example, I know this 25 mile course in Cambridge that I'd like to do. So okay, so this is just a slight limitation of the website. So I'm looking for this specific course here, and it's not popping up. So you need to find it in a different way. So, for example, I know that Cambridge CC is organising a 25 miler on that course, so I can go into that, and then I've found the course here, and I can click on that, and it's going to tell me all the events during the year that's taking place on this course, which is really useful. Now, a lot of the time you can just search for the course and it will just pop up. So, for example, a fast 10 miler course. If I search for that, and yeah, it's there. So everything that's tagged with being on the F1110 is going to come up. So I can see those courses, and so if you know the course codes from doing previous events, you can simply search like this, and it's they're all going to come up. So 25 mile fast course, pretty close to me. You can just search the course code and you see all the events during the year. Definitely better than the old website. It does help. It depends on how you're searching for your courses. But let's say I was doing the route of just looking for a fast dual carriageway course, so a fast 25 miler on a dual carriageway, and you weren't too familiar with the courses. It's really good that they've got these little maps, and if you need to, you can. You're like, okay, where is that actually? You can just open up the map and zoom out to see where it is. But if you do this sort of thing a lot, you're gonna kind of get an idea of where the courses are. So it's kind of useful to not know the full course codes, but knowing the letters associated with each region. And that's something that they also have on the website. So find a district, and it tells you. Just lets you know what all these districts are. So Scotland, that's going to be W. So any course in Scotland is. Oh, this is new. This is new. This is telling us all the events that are coming up in Scotland. They must have only added this in the last few days. Yeah, that's a nice feature as well. But yeah, if you're searching through and you see these different course codes with the different letters, W's associated with Scotland, so you just learn these over time. I just did this is just a little thing I made. So these are all the names of the local region. So for example, for me in Sheffield, I'm in this North Midlands region, which is the courses will start with O, but because I'm central in the country, getting to the Manchester courses ain't too bad. Central ain't too bad. North Yorkshire ain't too bad. The north ain't isn't bad either, and neither's getting to the south, to be honest. I kind of know the courses where, okay, unless it's for a really specific event, I'm probably not gonna go to a G or a Q or an H or a P, because it's kind of quite far away for me. This map is a good tool. They did have a feature on the old website, which is slightly, you can search for see where specific courses are. It's kind of becomes slightly redundant because lots of courses change and they kind of get retired. If you go discover courses, you can it's a different function, but you can zoom in on the map to find, like, let's say I was looking for a 10-mile course that's close to me. So I'm in Sheffield, so I zoom in and I'm looking for these different courses, and it's going to tell me these courses that are pretty close to me. Okay, that's the C10-4. Here, these are two. This is where it's a bit redundant, where it's saying there's two courses here, but they're just variations on the same course, the O10-15 and the O10-1. And also there's going to be things like, oh, let's find this course, there's a course close to me, but no, it's the V718, which is a retired course, for example. And Spindata still has that problem as well. Some courses they don't run anymore, some courses they come out of fashion, so they get retired for a little bit. Well, there might be roadworks which is causing them to be postponed, so they might have not run a course for 3 years. It doesn't mean they've killed off the course. It might just be that they're waiting for some roadworks to be finished, and then they'll start using that course again. But this is still a nice feature of finding a specific, seeing on a visual map, like, where all the different courses are. That's why something like having the legacy website still online is useful, because they might port this feature onto the new website, they might not. But yeah, this is nice with just selecting the region, and then it brings up all the events during the year, and you don't have to. Yeah, that's really nice. That's a nice way to do it. You don't have that feature of you in the events thing. You don't have the feature of being able to select from district here, but if you select the district from the map, then you're able to do it. On the old website, you'd be able to select for district. You're able to select for this is just an example of how kind of how redundant course codes get. It was nice because you were able to select for districts. So, like for example, I'm close to Central, North Midlands, and Manchester, so I could select for these ones and then look through my courses like that. But yeah, the functionality on the new website to do that is so much better. But yeah, with looking through courses, the issue is that a lot are redundant. These are not all run. I'd say probably like 10 or 15% of these courses are run, maybe 20, just an estimate. But yeah, they kind of have. You kind of find that there's the standard courses that have stood the course of time, and those are the ones that get run time and time again. So if a club event's organised, they're going to be confident in running a certain course rather than going on a whim and going for a crazy course. There's lots of features on this new website, and it's really brilliant. This search feature is fantastic, and yeah, it's been a welcome change. Some things a bit strange. They have updated the user profiles, but it's like, I'd say it's just objectively worse than the old website. Like, we've got the results here, but it doesn't say where I came. I have to go into it specifically to see my position in the event. It's nice to highlight it, but it doesn't tell me the course. It doesn't tell me the position, which is a bit strange. But we do have that on Spindata, so they've got all that functionality there. We used to have that on the old website, where position, course, and I like it like that. Speed's a nice one to have as well, so you can compare between between events, and that's useful for like the B bar, which is, I'm not sure. I'm assuming they'll update that sort of feature over time. But for example, looking at the B bar results, like, this is a feature that is useful if you're doing the B-bar or the short distance B-bar. It's something I'm going to try and do next year. So this is available on the old website, but it's not going to be updated for 2025. Well, it has 2025 there, but I doubt it's going to be updated. They're not going to port results onto the legacy website. That'll be redundant. But yeah, some features like this are on the old website and really useful for like looking up what it took to win the short course B-bar in 2024. But yeah, I'm sure that will come to the new website with time. So finally, Spindata, extremely useful tool for looking at your own performances. So this is my profile for 2024, and it tells me what distance I was doing, what position I came, the time for that event, float, and then score, which are really useful metrics. So for example, looking at this event that I did here, the 25-mile time trial, where I did 47 minutes 21 seconds. So that's objectively a faster time than 51:06. But looking at the float, so the float indicates like how good the conditions were on the day. So this event here, it was a 1.8, so it was a pretty harsh conditions. And then here with a negative 2.4, that indicates like significantly better conditions than normal. Like negative 4 would be like the best you'd sort of see. This day I did a fast time, but the conditions were good. So that's all accounted for in the score that I've got here. So I got 89 points here. But for example, at the national 25, even though the time was slower, the conditions weren't as good as these are different courses as well. So it's all accounted for in the score. But the score was actually better. So even though on the whole it's like, okay, it's a slower time, but yeah, it was a slower time because it's a slower day, it's a harder course, but the performance itself is ranked better, because these points are, it's all relative to the people you race against, and it's a really good metric to basically during the season, the way you track if you're doing better, you want to see a good trend in these points. This is kind of your best indicator for how well you're doing. Different courses, different conditions. The points it's all going to be accounted for in the points. Supposing you're up against people, because it's all based off the points of your riders. They're expecting you to do a certain performance and expecting everyone else to do a certain performance, and then it all gets weighted properly to calculate how good your performance was relative to everyone else on the day. So for example, and it's not perfect because my results during the year weren't anything too crazy. I'd say this performance here was probably lower than that, but because my average for the year was like a 90, and I was expected to do a 90, the fact that I exceeded so many other riders who would have been expected to do a better performance than a 90, same with this Ian Inglis, we basically really over exceeded what we were expected to do. So that meant that so me being like a ranked 90 rider, I'm assuming Ian's around the same, basically we get shunted into we're doing a better performance than we were expected to, and that kind of drags down everyone else's ranking. On the whole, this point system is a brilliant tool, and it's a really good way to check how you're trending over the course of the season. Another extremely useful thing I find is basically looking for fast courses. So you might just be curious as to, okay, I want to do a fast 10-mile TT. Where's the fastest course in the UK? So district we don't mind, 10-miler. And then we go weighted mile per hour, high to low. So we've got the V718, the L1015, the F1110. And this is where the website's not perfect because, for example, V718, yeah, it's good to look at, but we go into latest events, it was 2017 because they've stopped running this course. So there are some redundant courses where we're trudging through this looking for good horses, and this one's redundant. It's a bad example with the 10-miler because this is Levens, which is a course in South Lake District that still run. This is an event in Tring. These are two really fast courses. This event in Market Weighton, they still run the second, third and fourth fastest courses. Not sure about these ones, but I think this one's redundant as well. This is Etwall. Yeah, it's also always linked to a Strava. Okay, where's this? not sure about this one. But yeah, it's always linked to a Strava, so you can just look at the course through there. You can see the course records. You can look at what power Duggleby was doing to on this day, fast performance, and yeah, not crazy on the power. Yeah, pretty average power for him. So yeah, it's there's probably more to gain with that course, for example. But yeah, you can click into the course, you can look at the Strava segment, and that tells you where it is. Tells you about like the best performance. Also has it on the website, but it's nice to be able to look at someone's power. So having a look at Leven's, we've got these are the fastest of all time. So it was a really good performance by John at 15, like a sub 50 performance, and it was good conditions on the day. So there's lots of fast times here, but yeah, they were done under like favourable conditions, but not like ridiculous conditions. So okay, it's a fast course. Like you can do an 80 on a really good day, and you can go sub 18 sort of thing. I think the issue I mentioned becomes more prevalent for depending on where you're looking. So don't think this is too bad either, but there's always going to be some redundant courses that end up in the top rankings where they just don't run the course anymore for whatever reason. J58 is the fastest course, but then this A2511, that's an old course that they don't run anymore, which is on the same bit of road, but coming from the opposite direction. So the J58 starts from East Oxford and kind of comes the other way, but they don't run this course anymore. But the J58 is still a course that you can do, albeit once a year. But yeah, there's lots of functionality in this website. The rankings you stack up against, and yeah, it's a fantastic website that takes all the results. It doesn't matter if someone's results are profile's private, because the main results sheet is available to everyone, and that's just ported directly into Spindata, and those numbers are crunched and compare your performances and see how you stack up, which is really useful to hopefully see that you're trending in the right direction over the course of the season.